It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
To Dustin Long with Landmark Newspapers.
Yeah, Dale, you talked about decision-making being key this weekend. How hard is it late in the race to decide when to go or when to be patient and wait? How does that kind of mindset go for you? And if you're in the top 5 in the last few laps, when to go or when to kind of wait and wait for your line to make a move or something like that?
Yeah, that determines what determines when you go and when to make a move and whatnot is who's behind you. Is the guy behind you a teammate of the guy in front of you? Because if you pull out, he's going to go with the teammate. Is he a friend of yours that's been helping you all day? Has he, is he either giving you reason on the racetrack or through his spotter to let you know he's going to help you when you go? How good is the run? How fast is the run? If you're coming up on a guy and making a real strong run, yeah, you can pull out and probably get beside this guy. But where's the guy behind you? Is he tucked in behind you? Or are you going to get? Or have you pulled away from him? If you pull out and you're by yourself, he just might close the gap because he knows if he pulls out to help you, the next guy's going to fill the slot in front of him, on the inside of him. It's pretty tough, really, to know this is the right moment. This is the time I need to go. It's really hard to know exactly if it's correct or not. You just constantly put runs together, lap after lap after lap, and eventually one's going to feel right to you. And if you got some trusty guys behind you, then and they're tucked up on you hard when you're making that run, man, it's a good opportunity to pull out. Also, you watch for people on the outside. If you're on the inside lane, you're watching for the outside lane. If it begins to creep forward and it seems like it's gained a lot of steam and it's going to hold that steam and maintain it, and it's got a strong group of guys up toward the front of that outside line, you can pull up in front of it and try to be the leader of that line automatically. Yeah, it kind of frustrates the guys who are carrying that line up to that point, but a lot of times they'll end up pushing you into the lead eventually if they don't get too angry with you and trying to make it 3 wide.
With what you try to do there at the end of the race, is that stuff that's just all you're just learning throughout the race, or are you picking up any of that in practice, in the drafting sessions? How does kind of the thought process go for you during the weekend from the first time you're in the car to the last few laps of the race?
Well, it's impossible to simulate how the race conditions are going to be in practice. We're out there and it looks the same. If you're just watching it visually, it looks the same, but it's not. The only thing I'm paying attention to is, in practice, the only thing I'm watching is how well does my car pull up, how well does it push other people, and how well does it do out front but getting pushed. You change the cowls and the air intake and a lot of things to make the car surge better and pull up on people and draft up on people, push people. You change things to make it lead better, and that's all that matters. You can't really simulate the exact race conditions and how you're going to make passes in practice. The car, a lot of times, depending on the air quality and the temperature and stuff, it's going to be different anyways on Sunday. But in the race, you just hope you got the best package with all those things you tried in practice, and you're making those moves on just I don't think. It's rare where you're planning a move a half a lap or a lap ahead. A lot of times it's a split second. All right, here we go. This is it.
Thank you.
We'll now hear from Robert DeRogie with BRD Broadcasting.
Dale, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. This week it's Talladega. Every single driver we have talked with, not only today, but heck, I can remember saying this to your dad. I can remember saying it to Bill Elliott. What is it about Talladega? As soon as you mention the words, the driver says, "Oh boy, Talladega." Can you point it down to one thing? Why Talladega?
I think when the track was first built, the controversy amongst the drivers and and the speeds and the danger, put that track in the forefront and brought that track a lot of recognition immediately. And over the years, we've seen a lot of amazing things happen there, a lot of drama and tragedy as well. And it just has always remained toward the forefront of our sport. It's the biggest track and the longest track on the circuit. It's had a lot of facelifts, and it's just always been very dramatic, and it really created the big one before Daytona did. The big wrecks that you guys like to talk about. I mean, it's the place where all that started, and it's sort of always been in the shadow of Daytona. But to me, it's, I don't know, it's just impressive, the size of the track and the speed and how close we run together. I mean, we're running 190 miles an hour in the draft, tight door to door, bumper to bumper. There's literally no room for any error whatsoever, and it's just really, really exciting. It's an amazing adrenaline rush for 4 straight hours. I mean, you got that feeling constantly throughout the whole race.
Thanks, Dale. Have a good run this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll take our final question today from Dwight Drum with RaceStake.com.
Hi, Dale. Could you talk a little bit about what a fan might not know about racing on repaved tracks, the effects of weather, over time on new tracks, and how you and your team adjust to those surfaces like at Talladega?
Well, Talladega was well done. It's very smooth, and it's the cars. That track's difficult to compare because we're not going fast enough for my car to handle poorly one way or another. I'm not carrying enough speed around the racetrack for the car to handle poorly. So there's different springs you run to make it either slow it down or make it faster. You try to find the right combination, but you never really have a car that's loose or tight, and so you're not dealing with the handle so much at all. But they did such a good job making that track smoother. It was really rough before. It was kind of fun. You slid up in the corner a little bit, and you could run the top. There were a lot of tire marks, tar strips and stuff on the racetrack. Track was very bumpy, but now it's very smooth, real easy to get around. At other tracks, whenever they repave it, it seems to, force everybody to run the bottom groove. It takes 2 or 3 or 4 years before the track ages enough before we start moving up the racetrack to find new lines and new grooves around the racetrack. And that just, I don't really understand how that works or why that happens, but it just seems like when the track surface is brand new, if you stepped outside of that bottom groove, it was just, you had no grip and you would spin out, and there's just marbles everywhere. I guess the newer asphalt's really taken a lot of rubber off the tires, and just the rest of the track from that bottom groove up is just filled with marbles and debris. But as the track gets older, it gets more abrasive, much like Atlanta and Rockingham always have been, and you can find extra grip and carry more speed off the corner, and you run the top really just because you can use more throttle, and you're not really gaining anything in the corner, but the fact that you're on the throttle a whole lot sooner makes you gains you about 10 to 20 car lengths on the straightaway. So that's really what you're doing to run the top in the first place. So, but it takes a track about 3 or 4 years to really age enough to where you can start searching around and moving around.
Thanks, Dale, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
And that is all the time we have for questions today. Herb, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, first of all, thanks to Dale Earnhardt Jr. Best of luck this weekend, pal. I'm getting that 6th Talladega win, and we'll see you at the track.
I appreciate it, man. I want to remind everybody about the auction on Monday. I think that's the 13th, the charity auction for Make-A-Wish that we're doing in Charlotte next to the Speedway, and our concert on Sunday night after the Charlotte race. Kyle Petty's going to open up, so I know all you guys will want to come see that. I'm looking forward to that as much as Gary Allen playing later. It's going to be pretty fun, but I appreciate you having me on.